Well, hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. Thanks so much for joining us on the ABC10 app. We start tonight with breaking news. 4 people, including 2 children, have been found dead inside a Rancho Cordova home.
Okay, I want you to take a look. This is all happening at a home on Millwater Circle. The investigation started just before 9 a.m. this morning. ABC10's Roxanne Elias is there live. And I understand, Roxanne, you actually spoke to the woman who says she made the 911 call.
Chris, I did. That woman spoke to us earlier today. She says that she lives right across from the home where all of this happened. She was pretty shaken up and distraught, so she didn't want to speak to us on camera. But she says it was earlier today that she was taking her children to school when she heard the shots fired, and that's what prompted her to call the authorities. Right here behind me, you can actually see the house right now that's being investigated. There's a fence that's torn down because the detectives and investigators are here combing through any evidence that they may see. Now, the sheriff's office says the first call came in around 8:30 this morning about possible shots fired at Copper Sunset Way. About 5 minutes later, they received another call from a second person who claimed to be the shooter. They say he also stated that he had set some booby traps up at the location. But once the deputies responded, they started evacuations of the area and established a perimeter. The SWAT team and Special Enforcement Detail were called and continued notifications for people inside of the home to come outside. The rook was also used to rip through a rear fence, and a drone was flown inside of the home. And after further investigation, deputies discovered a dead man, woman, and 2 children, a boy and a girl, but no booby traps have been found.
It was determined that the male they believed to be the resident there did have several firearms registered in his name, as well as prior military service and possible military equipment.
Right now, investigators are working to make the safest approach possible after finding those firearms. Neighbors here still in shock and surprised about the shooting, knowing a family lived here.
All the time I've lived here, I don't know if I've ever even seen a cop in this neighborhood, let alone, had something like this happen.
Back out here live, investigators couldn't confirm if this is considered a murder-suicide, but they say at this time they are no longer looking for any suspects. Some of the detectives and investigators out here are also working to find out the ages of the people that lived in the home, but they tell us ultimately it will be the coroner's office to identify all of the people who were found here. I'm live in Rancho Cordova. Roxanne Elias, ABC10.
Just a devastating story, Roxanne. Keep us posted as you learn more. Thank you.
To Arizona now, and yet another shooting involving U.S. Border Patrol. Officials say one person is now in critical condition. The shooting involved a U.S. Border Patrol agent, and it happened about an hour south of Tucson near the U.S.-Mexico border. The FBI has requested local deputies to help lead the use of force investigation. The department is also conducting a parallel investigation. It comes as people in Arizona protest after the death of Alex Preddy in Minnesota. It marks the 2nd death of an American citizen this month at the hands of federal agents.
The man at the center of the immigration crackdown in Minnesota is expected to leave the state as part of a leadership shuffle. This as fallout continues. Border protection officers involved in that deadly shooting were wearing body cameras. The agency says that footage is preserved, but it's unclear if the public will get to see it. Meanwhile, Border Czar Tom Homan was there today replacing a Border Patrol Commander-at-Large, Greg Bovino, who met with local officials as the administration works to calm tensions. We have team coverage tonight. Political reporter Jenny Ha is standing by, tracking a new bill that would hold federal agents more accountable.
But first, we do want to start with ABC10's Becca Habegger at City Hall.
And happening right now, the Sacramento City Council is updating its immigration platform.
Yeah, public comment has been happening for hours now. More than 100 people signed up to speak, and hundreds others left a comment online ahead of the meeting.
ABC 10's Becca Habegger joins us now live outside City Hall. So, Becca, what is the council considering right now?
Well, Laura and Chris, the Sacramento City Council established its immigration platform back in 2017 and hasn't updated it since then. It essentially establishes the city's values with respect to embracing and protecting the city's immigrant and refugee communities. Now, City Council members say updating the platform today is a matter of bringing the platform into compliance with state laws that have passed since 2017 and to reaffirm the city's commitment to being a sanctuary city. However, many of the people speaking today at public comment say simply updating the immigration platform doesn't go far enough. They say it's symbolic speech that needs actions and policy to back those words. We caught up ahead of the meeting with an organizer with Decarcerate Sacramento, as well as Councilmember Mai Vang, who is working on putting together an action plan. You'll hear from them in that order.
Largely symbolic language and is not actual policy or action, and there's no actions attached to it. So what we're advocating for today is for them to actually update the city's sanctuary policy and develop an action plan.
I'm working with community and my colleagues to actually develop a Sacramento Community Safety Action Plan, because what I've also have learned is that good policy goes to die in implementation if you actually don't have process and protocols in place.
Immigration enforcement actions on city property, like parking garages and community centers. Now, I am following the City Council meeting live. It is playing on a phone at my feet as we speak. Public comment is still going on. It's been more than 3 hours now. Now, the action that we could see City Council take tonight is simply updating that immigration platform, that separate resolution about barring ICE agents from action on city property. That would require it going first to the Law and Legislation Committee before coming back to the full City Council in coming weeks. So we'll continue following that, but for tonight, we're just waiting for public comment to finish up and see what the council members do. For now, I'm Becca Hopper, live in downtown.
And like you said, Becca, the meeting is happening right now. We know you'll be tracking it all for us. Keep us posted as you learn more. Thanks, Becca.
In state matters tonight, California is taking another big step to limit federal immigration enforcement, advancing a new bill that would hold federal agents more accountable.
ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Huh has been tracking the bill and has the latest tonight.
After a long debate on the Senate floor, the bill is advancing to the Assembly, where it will likely be amended to include an urgency clause so it can be effective immediately upon the governor's signature.
Ayes 30, noes 10. The measure passes.
It was a fierce debate on the Senate floor Tuesday. SB 747, the No Kings Act, passed 30-10. The no votes, all by Senate Republicans.
We're going to treat all law enforcement the same on an equal and level field, whether you're local, state, or federal. It doesn't matter. If you violate the Constitution, you need to be accountable.
The bill aims to close what Weiner and supporters call a legal loophole in a federal civil rights law, which allows citizens to sue local and state agents for constitutional violations, but excludes federal agents and officials.
We can't stop ICE from entering California and doing their enforcement. We can make very, very sure that we're doing everything in our power to protect our communities and to make sure that we're not going to be part of your mass deportation.
Strong opposition on the murky legal ground of state versus local authority.
This is truly a tension between federal law enforcement and state laws.
I rise in strong opposition to this bill.
And on the potential for additional liability for local law enforcement.
The way we talk about law enforcement sends signals far beyond this chamber.
Weiner responding.
The duties and defenses and immunities we're creating here are duties, defenses, and immunities that local and state law enforcement already have.
Republicans also taking the chance to criticize SB 54, the California Values Act, our so-called sanctuary law, which limits local and state law enforcement from assisting with federal immigration efforts.
If we would allow our law enforcement to cooperate with federal authorities, I'm telling you, we could probably make a deal between all of us and the federal government to get our handcuffs back. And let's get rid of the worst of the worst.
Jenny Huh, ABC 10.
Meanwhile, California officials say state and local police do not have to stand aside when federal agents are involved in deadly cases. Today, Governor Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta issued a bulletin reminding agencies they have the authority to investigate possible state law crimes, even if federal officers are involved. Californians are encouraged to report misconduct to the California Department of Justice portal on their website. A guidance comes after officials say the federal government refused to cooperate in the recent shootings in Minnesota.
The El Dorado County Sheriff's Office says a former Oak Ridge High School band teacher has been arrested. We're also learning the teacher, while retired, has worked with the district in a limited role. Paul Varoff is now accused of multiple sex crimes involving minors. Investigators say he worked at the school for more than 3 decades. Arraignment is set for tomorrow afternoon. The Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with any information or who may know of other potential victims to contact the Sheriff's Office. The El Dorado Union High School District sent us a statement today saying in part, quote, "The safety of our students is our highest priority. We are taking these allegations seriously. While it is not known at this time whether the allegations involve a student from our district, we are taking appropriate steps to protect our school community."
Well, coming up, a record-breaking storm brings freezing cold temperatures to multiple states, while some are still being impacted by those cold conditions.
Tracking our weather system as it makes its way through our region overnight. How much rain and snow we can expect.
And later, the brief run of Amazon Fresh stores comes to an end, including some in our area. Amazon shares why. Let's talk weather now. Bitter cold is settling in much of the country after that massive winter storm that claimed the lives of at least 42 people in 11 states. Hundreds of thousands of customers are still without power in these dangerous temperatures. Look at these scenes. Travel was also impacted on the roads and in the skies. American Airlines says the storm has been the most disruptive in the airline's 100-year history, canceling more than 9,000 flights. It just goes to show the severity of this storm. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods now. She's tracking some changes in our neck of the woods.
We've been dealing with mainly the fog, but that's moving out and being replaced by something else, huh, Monica?
Right, some brief showers overnight tonight, kind of some exciting stuff, especially when we've gone over 20 days without really tracking much of anything at all outside of that fog, as Chris was mentioning. Here's a look at a beautiful start to our day. This is out of Pioneer. Thanks to Neil for submitting that. Some high clouds kind of drifting through for today. Clouds increasing, though, right now, associated with that band of rain moving in off the coast. Now, that's going to continue to press our way, and with it, we'll actually pull in some showers. Meantime, we're dry right now. Temperatures in the 50s. We're post-sunset, which was at 5:23. Tahoe, 42 degrees right now, and again, dry weather. What a chilly start to our day. Temperatures plummeting into the 30s overnight with a mainly clear skies, a little bit of low cloudiness to start off the day. Pretty, but again, you had to bundle up this morning. 40s for the foothills and teens for the Sierra. Afternoon highs, though, warm nicely once we saw peaks of sunshine for today. We were in the 50s to right around 60 in the valley and the foothills, and 40s up top for the Sierra. But again, a few changes coming our way tonight. Quick moving showers for the overnight hours, midweek clearing, and then fog making a return deeper in the forecast. Again, it has been quite a stretch here of not seeing anything in the rain bucket. We have gone since January 6th of seeing anything stretching our way. So we're going to end January on a dry note, given that this weather system moving through is going to be very, very brief and not put a whole lot in the rain bucket here. Here's the sheer numbers across the state. But when you look at the deficits, we're starting to see those kind of peak into our outlook. Right now, we are about 19/100ths of an inch behind for Eureka. We're still holding steady, believe it or not. Even with this dry January, we're still above average. That just shows you how wet we were in mid-December through early January. Total rainfall for tonight, less than 1/4 of an inch for many places, and we're barely going to see a dusting of snow for the Sierra. A little bit better news north of I-80. But again, this is a quick moving system. It's in and out of here overnight tonight. We're right back to a dry outlook by the time we get to sunrise, and that'll put us with dry conditions through the afternoon on Wednesday. Nice little northwest wind develops as well, which will clear out some of the low cloudiness, but it is back for Thursday morning. And then we see a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon, but it's kind of a repeat performance by the end of the work week as well. So patches of low clouds and fog for the morning hours, and then dry weather for the afternoons. Highs for tomorrow in the 40s for the Sierra, with 50s to near 60 throughout the foothills. We're in the 60s for the coast. Again, clearing skies through the day. We're at 68 for parts of the South Bay area. Highs are going to warm into the upper 50s to low 60s for tomorrow afternoon. Morning lows, by the way, much more comfortable. We'll be in the 40s instead of 30s. Highs are going to warm into the 50s by the weekend forecast for the Sierra. We're close to 70 for the foothills Friday and Saturday. We're dry for the coast as well. Here's a look at that extended forecast. Like I said, it's largely a dry one. We've got a slight chance of a shower passing through on Sunday, but for the most part, when you look at that 10 days, it doesn't necessarily look like winter in Northern California. We'd like to see a few more raindrops.
That is true. We still got February, so hopefully it'll bring us what we need.
Yes.
And then there's also Miracle March, as they call it sometimes.
There's always a little something sneaking around the corner, right?
Okay, Monica, thank you. And don't forget, for more of your local weather needs, including extended weather forecasts, keep watching us right here on the free ABC10 app. Just visit the Weather tab.
Next at 5:30, after not even 2 years, Amazon Fresh is closing all stores. That includes some in our area. We'll explain why.
Plus, a major decision could determine the future of Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. This following an ABC10 investigation. Welcome back. Amazon is planning to close its Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go stores, including locations in Elk Grove, Citrus Heights, and Roseville. The company announced the move this morning, saying those stores have not met the business model it needs to expand nationwide. Some locations will be converted into Whole Food stores. Amazon said it plans to open more than 100 new Whole Food locations in the coming years, while continuing to test new physical store concepts.
Tonight, a major decision could determine the future of one of California's largest adult charter school systems. The Twin Rivers Unified School District Board will vote on whether to revoke the charter status of Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools.
Now, keep in mind, this process started after an ABC10 investigation uncovered widespread financial mismanagement, lack of oversight, and serious academic failures.
Highlands once operated more than 50 campuses statewide, serving thousands of adults and K-12 students, and received more than $180 million in taxpayer funds. That's according to a state audit. Our reporting found uncredentialed teachers, unapproved campuses, and taxpayer money spent on luxury trips and gifts.
Now, if the board votes to revoke the charter tonight, Highlands could appeal, but this does mark a critical moment in the charter revocation process. ABC10 will have a reporter at the meeting tonight, and we'll bring you the latest developments on Late News Tonight at 11. And don't forget, you can watch the entire investigation, The Wild West of Education, right now, right here on the free ABC10 TV streaming app.
Two tech giants are set to defend their impact on young people in a trial that started today. This after TikTok reached a settlement Monday night. Now, Meta and YouTube are the only companies left in a mother and daughter's lawsuit. They allege the app's addictive features harmed the teens' mental health and led to self-harm. Many advocates, experts, and families say they have similar concerns. The tech companies say they've addressed those worries with new safety features and policies. This week's trial could impact more than 1,000 similar cases.
Well, coming up, nearly a foot of snow couldn't stop this dog walker in his tracks. Meet the 63-year-old who dedicates 2 hours of his day, 7 days a week for Shelter's Furry Friends. That's next.
Coming up new tonight on the news at 6. One of the world's top AI leaders says AI could soon give dangerous people deadly power and even turn against humans. Coming up at 6, more on the urgent warning about artificial intelligence.
Okay, but before we go, we do have the story of a Maryland man whose dedication to dog walking is unmatched.
So true. Despite getting hit with nearly a foot of snow Sunday, 63-year-old volunteer dog walker Denson stuck to his daily routine.
Yeah, take a look at this. All 7 days a week, he spends 2 hours at the county animal shelter before working as an insurance salesman. It all started when he adopted his dog Charlie from the shelter, who had been returned twice before, and went on to actually eat Darren's couch. But Darren never gave up, and that compassion and patience led him to pick up dog walking. And we're told the shelter trusts him with some of their toughest dogs, right? And looks like they have a pretty good relationship there.
Yes, man's best friend, right? We love
indeed.
it. Job well done. Thanks for joining us. Watch us anytime, any day on the ABC 10 app.